You tell the world.
Hi, I'm Johnny Likes. I'm Johnny. This is Johnny Likes, the channel where I talk about movies that I like. Now, I realize that I am not the only middle-aged, white, male, bearded movie reviewer on YouTube. I've always wanted to review movies ever since I was a little kid and watched Siskel and Ebert on TV. I'm going to do this whether anyone's watching or not. I'm doing this for the love of the game. I thought I would come up with a list of movies where I have an unpopular opinion on them. Kind of like a litmus test to see if my opinion is worth watching. For the most part, I have like the same movies you love, I'm gonna love, but sometimes maybe not. Maybe there's that movie that I hate it too, and then oh, also he loved the movie that I love. Oh, maybe it's like that. Maybe we can be best friends on the internet. I'm not very cool, by the way. That'd be cool if you want to be my buddy. Okay, so let's start with some movies that most people hated or didn't like very much, and I liked a bit more than the average. Now I'm just going to compare these to the IMDb rating because that's kind of my go-to movie site. I don't really do the other ones. Okay, a little tangent on ratings here. So I use 5 out of 5 for the best, 0 out of 5 for the worst. Why 5, not 10 or 4 or stars or tomatoes, whatever the hell? Well, I feel like 10 is too much and 4 is too little, really. Am I really ever going to rate a movie like a 3 out of 10? Probably not, but I might give it like a 1.5 out of 5. I don't know what the difference is, but if you really want to, I don't know. I feel like it's too granular doing out of 10, but I have the same freedom to do it out of 5. If you want to know out of 10, you just double it. Like math's cool like that, right? And at the same time, I also don't like the thumbs up, thumbs down, like recommend, not recommend thing, because there's always caveats within this. Like, would you recommend it? Yeah, but only if you like this or whatever, that sort of thing. So that's why my system is out of 5. I try not to give too easily top marks or no marks. I'm going to be much more likely to give something 5 out of 5 than 0 out of 5. I can't think of very many movies off the top of my head that I'd give a 0, but I can think of several I'd give a 5. Okay, back to the movies I liked more than most people. So let's do the first one. Is Your Highness, the Danny McBride comedy from a few years back. Now I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5. But IMDb gives it a 5.5 out of 10. So for me, that's just a little bit low. I have a soft spot for the movies that Your Highness is paying homage to. I like Krull. I like Excalibur. I like The Sword and the Sorcerer. I like the whole hack and slash going on a quest genre. Those are fun. These guys obviously love it too. Is this movie stupid? Yes. Are they making fun of these movies while doing this movie exactly? Yes. Did it work for me? Yes. This movie I go back to at least once a year just because it kind of feels like a warm blanket. And also, it's funny. Okay, second movie. We got Spiderman 3. Yes, the Tobey Maguire Spider-Mans. Tobey Maguire, Sam Raimi Spider-Mans. Now, I'm going to give this a 3.5 out of 5. IMDb gives it a 6.3. I don't love the movie, but it actually was my favorite of the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies. I just really wasn't a fan of the first two. I can see why people don't like it, but I thought it was a little better than the others. It's still not a great movie, to be fair. I haven't seen any of the Raimi Spider-Man movies for like at least 15 years. Maybe a rewatch, in my opinion, would change, but I'm thinking not so much. Okay, next up, we're doing Transformers 4 and Transformers 5. I'm gonna give them both a 3.5 out of 5. IMDb they get 5.6 and 5.2 respectively. I like the Wahlberg Transformers. I know a lot of people don't like Mark Wahlberg, but I've always kind of liked him as an actor ever since probably Three Kings. He got in my good books there, and he never really fell out. He's done some solid action movies, and I don't mind his... Do I want to hang out with him? Like, no, but he's a professional actor. Don't you judge me. I think what I like about these movies is that by this point, people kind of stopped expecting them to be good movies. I did a Transformer marathon a few years back because I'd seen the first two and I didn't really like them. But I thought, well, they keep on making them and they make $1 gajillion each time, so maybe I'm the one missing something. Well, I really wasn't. They're all not great. They're all shiny, loud, and have lots of explosions. And that appeals to my inner child. It's not like I dislike Shia LaBeouf either. I think he's a good actor. I enjoy watching him. I just prefer Wahlberg and his daughter. I can't remember the actress who plays her. Sorry, actress. I'll info it up here. Yeah, so that's kind of my thoughts on those movies. I like them more than most people. All right, here's one for all you people out there. Yoga Hosers. This is another 3.5 out of 5 for me, whereas IMDb gave this a 4.2. This movie is not especially funny, but it is goofy and it's original as all hell. And it's got a certain charm to it. It looks like everyone's there just to have a good time and make a movie. And it looks like they're having fun doing it. They're just goofing around. Depp and Smith are charming together, and I like how the plot goes like way off the deep end here. Funny enough, this kind of reminds me of Spaceballs in that none of the jokes are all that funny, but I just like watching them. I kind of just like watching them happen, and they're the kind of thing where you don't like actually laugh out loud. You might exhale through your nose a little bit faster or go, that's funny, but you don't actually laugh. With all that said, I enjoy watching it all. It's just so quirky and odd. And at any rate, I like it more. I would like to see a sequel to this. I want to see more of Depp and Smith being besties, and I love the gentle poking at the Canadians. It's a lot of fun. Next up, we got Jason X, much maligned Jason in space. I give it 3.5 out of 5 again. IMDb gives it a 4.4. So a few years back, I did a Friday the 13th marathon. Watched them all back to back in a row. I'd seen them all individually over the years, but never in a row. And they get quite monotonous after a while. And I think probably the main reason I like this one is it really actually felt like a breath of fresh air after so much of the same. The previous couple entries had tried to switch up the location, but it just didn't work all that great for me. I like Jason Goes to Hell, but I like this one more. It's got some unique kills in it. I like how it just embraced the genre tropes and they just went for them. They just embraced them and just like, yeah, okay. I appreciated the effort. Highlander 2. So I can see why people hate this. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. IMDb gives it a 4.2. I understand the dislike for the movie completely. If I had seen Highlander on the big screen in 1986 and been like, oh, that was great, and then, oh, they have a sequel and it's got Lambert and it's got like everyone, all the original cast is involved. Even Queen, I think, did the score for this one again. And then I saw Highlander 2 in the theater. I would be pretty choked. I'd probably still be bitter about it, but if you just go into this movie hoping for like a schlocky good time, it actually kind of delivers that. Like, it's not a great action movie or sci-fi movie. It's not a good sequel. It's kind of has some of the threads of the original, but that's about it. But if you go into it with an open mind, or even just haven't seen the first Highlander, this could actually be a better time. Try and think about it like that. Okay, so those are all my positives. Here's movies that I didn't really like that people liked a lot. Okay, so hear me out. I'm not a monster on these. So Gladiator, Russell Crowe movie. Remember that one? I'm gonna give it a 2 out of 5. IMDb has it at an 8.5 out of 10. So I got some explaining to do here. So yeah, I went into this movie thinking it was going to be this big action movie, and instead it was this epic where Joaquin Phoenix is trying to sleep with his sister. Yeah. I do remember liking some of the action scenes, but it just wasn't enough for me. I saw it opening weekend. And to be fair, I haven't watched it since, so this one's probably the biggest candidate for movies that I might appreciate more, giving it a rewatch with kind of some fresh perspective and my expectations checked. So maybe I'll do a rewatch sometime and give it a modified review, but until then, yeah, not a fan. Oh yeah, I gotta say, Ridley Scott, pretty hit and miss for me, and this one was more of a miss. Next up here, you're gonna hate me again, Disney's Aladdin. I'm gonna give it a 2 out of 5. IMDb gives it an 8 out of 10. Yeah, okay, I get it. So I grew up in the golden age of Disney, and it was utterly wasted on me. I don't like 99% of musicals. This was a musical. Had you taken away all the songs, I would have had a way better time. Like, I like the premise. I like the whole like Arabian Nights type mythology. All that stuff is super neat. It's right up my alley. But I didn't care for it. The TV show of the same name, I kind of begrudgingly got into because they played it after school. It was on, so I just kind of got used to it. I would never search it out, but it was watch the show or, I don't know, go outside. Nuts that. Again, I also haven't seen this one since 1995. I bet if I was to rewatch it, I would be less critical about it because at the time, when you're a kid, you're getting it shoved down your throat because it's a Disney movie, it's a kids movie. Parents like that. They don't like letting their kids and their friends watch horror movies, but that's what was way more up my alley. Anyways, yeah, big pass on the whole most Disney movies for me. There are exceptions, but Aladdin is not one of them. Next up, Shutter Island. I'm gonna give this a 1.5 out of 5. IMDb has it at 8.2 out of 10. This movie, I had forgotten I read the book too until I was watching the movie. Yeah, it was about halfway through, and then I remembered the kind of twist that happens. I remember while I was reading the novel thinking that this would make a great movie, and I don't know. The movie just wasn't what I pictured, I guess. Pretty much nothing in the movie worked for me. It felt like the performances were hammy and forced, and that the plot was like kind of being telegraphed at me even from a mile away, even though I kind of knew where it was going. Apparently I was the only one. I actually remember getting angry at how much I disliked the movie compared to how much I liked the book, because I quite liked the book. It was a real page turner. Like, I slammed through it in like a couple days, and I realized the book is almost always better than movie, and I'm usually pretty forgiving about this, but this one just rubbed me the wrong way. And it was also the book wasn't anything special to me. It was just one that I think my parents had read and they recommended it, so I gave it a shot, and I was like, oh yeah, this is great. But yeah, this movie just did not work for me, did not translate. Next up, Mrs. Doubtfire. I'm gonna give this a 1 out of 5. IMDb gives it a 7.1. I've always found Robin Williams to be incredibly irritating in his comedic roles. I love him in his dramatic ones, but I just don't find him funny. This is no exception, and this is another one of those movies where it was like shoved down our throat. I think we even watched it in school in like 3rd grade, and I was like, "Ah, kill me now! Can't we learn about something?" Yeah, that's how much I disliked it. Sorry, but not sorry. That's how I feel about him. Spider-Man 2. I mentioned Spider-Man 3 was kind of my favorite of those. Spider-Man 2 was my least favorite. I'm gonna give it a 2 out of 5. IMDb gives it a 7.4. It's another movie that was a box office smash and kind of a critical darling. I just didn't get it. Nothing really worked for me. It felt like about 8% of the movie was just a close-up of like emotionless Tobey Maguire's face. And I liked him in the first and third movies, and I thought he was lots of fun, and even the new one, the like something home something one with all the Spider-Man. But I didn't really care for him here. I saw it once. That was enough for me. It's probably one that'll never click for me, but I might give it another chance someday if I do like a watch all the Spider-Mans movie type thing. Okay, so that's it for my list of unpopular opinions for now. Next, I guess I'll just go over my general taste in movies and what I gravitate towards. My bread and butter is sci-fi. That would probably be my favorite genre, followed closely by horror, and then action and comedy and mixtures and crossovers of all those. I like all genres of movies, but I like those the most. They're what I'm most likely to watch. I just have to be in just the right mood for a serious interpersonal drama or like race relations or something like that, or human trafficking. So like a bunch really heavy stuff. Like I do watch them, but it has to be like just the right mood. I love B movies. I love art house films. I love big Hollywood films. I'm not a big fan of extreme cinema. I mean, kind of like torture porn, I guess you'd be the other name for it. Like, I've seen Human Centipede, but I have no interest in seeing the sequels. Certain things I just don't need to see being portrayed on film. Like, in general, I'm looking to be entertained. I'm not looking for, like, an emotionally scarring experience. Oh, yeah. So I can appreciate the artistic merit in filming and portraying certain things. Doesn't mean I want to watch them. I'm not too big of a man to say when something is too much for me. I like it when stuff sticks with me, but I don't want to be scarred for life. If there's kind of a fine line there, if that makes sense. In general, I guess I'm looking for entertainment. Although there is a quote that I enjoy. I don't know who originally said it. I heard it from John Frusciante from the Chili Peppers, of all people. He said, "Everything in moderation, including moderation." That's kind of my feelings on, well, lots of stuff. But okay, so that's my little get to know ya. Hopefully we can be best internet friends. Yeah, you should come by, watch my stuff, see what I like. Maybe you like it too. You probably like it too. It's nice to hear somebody talk about movies that you don't see everywhere. Thanks for watching me rant about movies for a little bit. Like and subscribe for me, please. It's quick, it's painless, it's relatively easy, and it helps me out.